Hello, YouTube. I'm Z James. This is Z32 Workshop, and that is my 1993 Nissan 300ZX convertible parts car. Last episode, I tried removing the lower support for the radiator. Lower core support, or lower radiator core support. Well, it's kind of a mouthful. It did not go well, as you can see, still in the car. But that's the last episode, so if you want to know about that, if I figure out how to link it properly, it's the previous episode. Basically, it did not go well. It didn't happen. I'm not happy with myself. It did not turn out the way I wanted it to. So that's unfortunate truth. Today's episode is not going to be me moving anything from the car. I actually need to put the tires back on in the rear, jack it up, lower it in the rear, lower the front back down on some car dollies, and see if I can pull the car away from the wall. Which means I want basically this front end to be right about here. Which means once I get into that phase, the car has to be completed in under a month to get out of here. Which you'll see, which should not be too much of a problem. But once I get it into where it takes up a bay in my garage, as in right now I can still pull in a car here. Once I move it to here, I've got to get this the rear end taken care of and lighten it up so I can start cutting the front. Because right now she's rear bias heavy because the fuel tank and the rear subframe are still in, along with the rear bumper. So this, just so you've probably not seen it, when I was drilling to try to get the lower radiator support out, when I drilled up, pressing up, I could tip, mind you, it onto the backside. That tells you how, even though there's 4 jack stands underneath it, they're not the extremes. So there's stuff on the overhangs that give it loud so I can lever over. I know I'm using my hands to talk quite a bit, but that's what the case. So today is going to be hyperlapse, me basically getting this thing hopefully jacked up on the ground, put that down there, and hopefully pulled away. I do not know how well this is going to go. I may need to get assistance from my lovely wife or kids to help me pull it away. I hope not, but I won't know until I start doing it. So that's what this is going to be about today. So it's going to be me buzzing around, some good music, and getting this project another step closer to completion. So, and that's just me actually prepping the garage again. Like I said, there's lots of projects. Sometimes the work you do isn't necessarily on the project you do, but to get the space to be able to do the work. So, all right, we're going to do that. So 3, 2, 1, woo! final position. Or resting position, as one would say. Yeah, took a little longer than I wanted just to get things jacked up, braced the way I wanted to make sure everything was in the proper spot before I rolled it. Boy, you forget how low this car really is, and if you drop it even lower, because, you know, there's no front suspension, it's a lot easier after working on it for the last month or so when it's been, you know, an extra 2 foot in the air, which is easy because it makes life underneath it so much easier, but then everything else. Here, let me show you guys around. The rest of these videos, once I get this thing jacked back up in the air, which won't happen this morning, I ran out of time, but I'll be able to do the rear bumper and everything back here now that I actually have room to get to it. There we go. You can see the tail lights I removed earlier in the back panel. Both tail lights are shot. I mean, one of them was fine, but I ended up breaking. The center panel is still good. You can see the wiring that I stuck in here from the trunk. This being is one of these, this loom here. I can't get the tail lights out. It's right there. For whatever are these side marker lights. I gotta get the bumper off, I think, is gonna make that life a little easier. And then the other harness, which is this guy, that should be ABS. And that's rear subframe. So, oh, and there's also this light right here. I figured out how to get out, which is the trunk. So that's that. That's gonna be today's, oops, sorry about that. That's gonna be today's episode, everybody. I know it's a lot of time lapse for me moving around, but, you know, it's all stuff that has to be done before I can finish this project and get it done and completed. Which is going to be great for you guys because now you get to see the rear bumper removal and you get to take a look at the rear subframe removal, rear suspension components. I'll probably do it exactly like the front. I'll probably take everything apart before I drop the rear subframe out. And you'll see what's wrong with this one. It's pretty crusty. And the big issue is, this is an NA car, so someone swapped in the TT rear subframe. No big deal, happens all the time. People want to have the better gear ratio or match up with the TT drivetrain, but they didn't put, all TTs had super high cast, which is the rear wheel steering, and if you don't have the pump or any bracketry like that that's actually useful to make it operable, you get wheel plated back in. They didn't do the lockout kit. There's nothing stopping this from wiggling side to side that 2 to 3 degrees. So rear tire wear on this thing would have been horrendous and handling would have stunk. So that's it. Anyway, that's today's episode. I'm Z James. This is Z32 Workshop. I hope to see you tomorrow in the garage just like I am right now, or I'll see you in the comments. Take care.